Hello friends, welcome to our Christian Hebrew Roots. This is a 2-minute Torah message. I'm Jack Taylor. I want to magnify some of the miracles and prophecy in Hebrew history. I'm going to go back today and look at the Jewish records as written by the ancient sages for the holiday Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is the saddest holiday on the Jewish calendar, and it reaches a climax and concludes with a fast on the 9th of Av, the date when the first and second temples were set on fire. It's the same date that the Jews were expelled from Spain in 1492, which sent Columbus to America. He was a Jew. And the 9th of Av also coincides with many other historical events of sadness in Jewish history. But today, I want to bring glory to the Father for His presence throughout the Torah. I want to make it clear that if God was willing to perform His miracles for the children of Israel under the Old Covenant, how much more is He willing today under the New Covenant? The New Covenant that He created by the shedding of the blood of His own Son, Jesus. John 14:12 points us to Jesus' words that say, "He who puts his trust in me, the works that I do, and greater than these will he do, because I'm going to the Father." Today's story comes from the Jewish holiday of Tisha B'Av, and it's a fascinating story filled with many powerful lessons. Part of the story told during the holiday tells us the cause of the Second Temple destruction. It's recorded that at the root of that event was baseless hatred and the lack of rebuking baseless hatred, or hatred without cause. Jesus told us in Matthew 22:37 through 40, "You shall love Adonai, your God, with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself." The entire Torah and the prophets hang on these two commandments. These words are to be written on our heart. So now I want to jump into the story at the point where Roman Emperor Nero, who had been deceived by an Israelite whose name was Bar Kamatz. Bar Kamatz had suffered from baseless hatred in the presence of temple sages. Those acts made Bar Kamatz turn against his fellow Israelites after suffering this injustice, and after the sages failed to rebuke the individual who perpetrated the baseless hatred. So Bar Kamatz went to Rome, and he lied to Roman Emperor Nero and convinced Emperor Nero that the Israelites were rebelling against Rome. Rome was in control politically and militarily at the time. So Emperor Nero mounted a garrison and went to Jerusalem. But on his arrival, he must have sensed the high importance of the military plan of action against God, the God of Israel. So he pulled an arrow from his quiver and he shot it to the east, and it went directly into Jerusalem. Then he shot an arrow, but this time to the west. But the arrow turned, and that arrow again landed at the same place in Jerusalem. He shot arrows to the north and to the south, and they also turned and fell at that same place in Jerusalem. So then Nero saw a child wandering nearby and asked the child what he was studying in school. The child replied, "I will lay my vengeance on Edom," which is Rome, "by the hand of my people Israel." At that point, Nero recognized God wanted to destroy Jerusalem. Nero did not want to become Rome's scapegoat, since the scripture the child spoke told that God would take out his vengeance upon Edom. So Nero elected to abort the military campaign. He returned to Rome and resigned his commission, converted, and became one of the sons of Abraham and joined the people of Israel. The aborted military campaign by Nero was later picked up by General Vespasian, and he led that army ultimately to destroy the temple. The changing of the direction of the arrows was the first miracle where we see God extending his hand. Then the young child's recital of the verse in Ezekiel was the second miracle and intervention by God's hand. There are 4 more miracles and a prophecy from the lead sage that will share in the second part of this message. As the story behind the destruction of the temple unfolds, please join us for part 2 of this video, and remember to share this faith-building message with your friends. God is and always has been a God of miracles. If you have a need, we want to pray with you. Reach out and contact us at jacktaylorministries.com. And remember to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Shalom.